Shri Radhastami Mahamahotsavatiti ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Jai Paramahansa Thakur Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Jai Sri Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Sri Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Sri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Sri Deva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Sri Rup Ramananda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Sri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Varshana Dham ki jai. Sri Navadip Dham ki jai. Sri Gupta Govardhan ki jai. Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi ki jai. Om Vishnupad Vishvavarena Sri Lasi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mata Acharya Vrinda ki jai. Sannyasi Vrinda ki jai. Seva Vrinda ki jai. Sri Radhastami Maha Mahotsavati ki jai. Nitai Go Premanande. So 40 years ago, on this day, I had the opportunity to be with Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev at Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, and I thought a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity is before me, meaning to record Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj singing these songs. I realize now it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And so it would be nice, we can begin with how they began, which is by singing certain songs in glorification of Srimati Radharani, beginning with Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. But the other songs that are there, for the most part, are in the Radhastakam, songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They're in our songbook. Not every single one, but most of them. So we can follow and sing. Hare Krishna. Srila Gurudev is singing, and I mic'd Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. So Srila Gurudev is, Guru Maharaj is telling him what to sing, then he sings those songs, but you can hear Srila Guru Maharaj responding.
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava
Song number 8, Radharani. This will be the last one. Hare Krishna. Okay, I can't see the microphone. You can. Hare Krishna. So Srila Guru Maharaj tells us the only way to gain this wealth is from the heart of a genuine devotee. It's not from studying scriptures or making your own assessment of things, but it's really what is in the heart of the devotees, and by getting their association and service, the wealth of their hearts is transferred to us. And what is that? I hear, is it a loudspeaker? Huh? It sounds like a loudspeaker with a lecture of me or something. Pardon me? So there's a delay? Oh, okay, then it's okay. It's like I'm hearing myself. And I'm saying we need to hear, from the heart of the devotee. I want to hear from them and try and transmit that to here. It's okay, I want them to hear. Maybe there was a delay. Turn it down a little bit. I thought I recognized the voice. Once I heard Srila Guru Maharaj, I get all these tapes of Guru Maharaj. That was the idea, that if I'm not going to be there doing this seva of recording him, although I would have gone anyway, but I pretended like there was a, what do you call it, condition. And that was that all the tapes, as I'm leaving, all Guru Maharaj will be recorded and they'll all be sent to me. And then I can hear them and transcribe, edit, publish, like that. So one day the tape comes and I don't recognize the voice, but it's someone saying something very high, and I thought, oh, maybe someone is visiting Guru Maharaj. And then, but what was being said was so high and wonderful, and I said to myself, if you've been trained by Guru Maharaj to any degree, then why cannot you hear this and on the basis of the substance that's being presented, understand? Yeah. So because it was one of the most wonderful things I'd ever heard, and my heart fully embraced and accepted that, and I came to understand Srila Guru Maharaj he had a sore throat at the time, so it dramatically changed his voice, altered his voice. But he still went on with Hari Katha, with Krishna Katha. I mean, really it altered his voice. But the substance was recognizably him. That's what I mean to say. So, because as he would say, and Gurudev sometimes show Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the picture we have, him, the beard, and Gurudev on his veranda says, and to think, he's a 13, 14-year-old girl in Goloka. And smile to himself. saying, or will you recognize that form? Or only if you see this particular form? Or Guru Maharaj says in Sri Guru and his age, when Guru appeared when he was young, then at another age, and which one? Anyone will be discounted, or some must appear in a particular form? And no less than Saraswati Thakur himself, one devotee, I believe of the name Bhagavat Janananda, Saraswati Thakur was found lamenting. This devotee was briefly in Gaudiya Math and then left the world. And Saraswati Thakur was saying, oh, Bhakti Vinod Thakur came before me, appeared through him, and I couldn't recognize him. He was wailing, crying, lamenting that. And he even named a mat, the Bhagavat Janananda Gaudiya Math. But that's what he told his devotees. Bhakti Vinod Thakur appeared before me and I couldn't recognize him. So, Hare Krishna. So, there's something Srila Prabhupada used to say that Guru Maharaj liked, and it sounds very surprising and shocking at first, but it's like the expression of the true devotees in this line. And he would say, Krishna is not so beautiful without Radharani. And then he's like, how can that be? I mean, young Shama Sundaram Achintya Guna Swarupam. He's inconceivably beautiful, and you're saying, like, what sort of extremists are these devotees if they say, but when he's not with Radharani, not so beautiful. Who's inconceivably beautiful. Right? Then it starts revealing something. It's a truth. It's a truism. But from a higher angle of vision. Right? Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santaksa deva hridayeshu vilokayanti Yang Shama Sundaram Achintya Guna Swarupam Govindamari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. That the Paramatma is not the target of the devotees. Right? Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan. But Bhagavan means Krishna in the company of his Shakti. In other words, the feminine aspect. Bhagavan, Bhagavan Sri Krishna means really, substantially in the present of his potency. Right? Hladani Shakti. And it's interesting to note the last word of the last purport, or in the last sentence of the last purport of Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, he says, and I'm paraphrasing mildly, but he says, thus the living entity resumes their normal position in the pleasure-giving potency. That means Hladani Shakti. So, when we consider Krishna conception, the Bhagavatam is telling Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan. That all-accommodating Brahma, right, greater than the greatest, Anorayan Mahato Mahyan, all-permeating Paramatma, smaller than the smallest. But then, as Srila Guru Maharaj says, what is the central conception of the infinite? All attractive. One is all accommodating, all permeating. But the central conception of the infinite, in human-like dimension, all attractive. Reality the beautiful. Right? Krishna is so inconceivably beautiful and loving and affection. The magnitude of his love and affection as such, Bhajaniya Sarvasad Guna Vishishta, that Srila Jiva Goswami says, that the natural response of the heart in connection with proper Krishna conception is to offer oneself in service. That is devotion, dedication. The opposite here, see something we like, we want to consume that thing. to enjoy it, to consume it, to master it. The natural response to coming in connection with Krishna is to offer oneself in service, just as through the agency of the Maha-Bhagavata. So one level, they're taking the name of Krishna, we show some respect for them. Second level, we're formally showing some respect, giving dandavats, etc., some praise, some recognition. And what is the response to the Maha-Bhagavata? He's saying, Krishna Nam automatically appears within you and you offer yourself in service. That is the response. Similar to the same response to Krishna. So, Krishna Take Kela Sarvatam Naralila Naravapu Tahara Swarup Gopa Base Benukar Navakishore Natavar Naralila Hoy Anurup. That the central conception of the infinite, Shama Gopa Rup of Krishna. Krishna as a cowherd boy playing his flute. Hare Krishna. And Hare Krishna. Shama Goparup. Jayatam Surato Pango Mama Mandamatergati Matsarvasva Padam Bojo Sri Radha Madana Mohano. Madan Mohan. How beautiful is Krishna? Kandarpa Koti Kamini Avishesha Sobam. 10 million cupids personified as one. What Prabhupada called the matchless beauty of Krishna. Madan Mohan. Cupid is bewildered. Everyone in this world is bewildered by Cupid. Cupid is bewildered by, and 10 million, Cupid to the 10 millionth power of seductive charm, sweetness, at that sort of magnitude. Right? So we know when Mahaprabhu was on his way to Vrindavan, and he's in the Vrindavan forest, and at one point we're told 2 parrots light on his fingers. He's in this divine trance. Remember, Radha Bhava Duti Subalita, enveloped in the heart and halo of Radharani. He's now in Vrindavan, and there the 2 parrots, Suk and Sari, like from Krishna Lila, now they're in Gaur Lila, appearing on the divine lotus fingers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they're singing the glories of the male parrot of Madan Mohan Krishna. Right? Saying, Krishna, he's so beautiful. Tri Jagan Manasakars, the whole universe, the 3 worlds, they're all attracted to the beauty of Krishna. Right? How much so? In the Charitamritam, quoting the writings of Rupa Goswami, even Dwaraka Krishna is attracted to the beauty of Vrindavan Krishna. What is it? Vishnu, all others are attracted, including Vishnu. Dwaraka Krishna is attracted to the beauty of Krishna. So he's saying, so he is Madan Mohan, he's so beautiful and charming that he bewilders Cupid himself. Right? That's the male parrot saying that. And then what does the female parrot say? So he's talking about Madan Mohan. He says, but Madan Mohan Mohini. But Radharani, what you say is true about Krishna, but he's only at his fullest expression of beauty, charm, and sweetness at the side of Radharani, she's Mohini, Madan Mohan Mohini. She can bewilder that Krishna. Right? That's how beautiful and charming and sweet she is, the better half of the sweet absolute. So, Srila Guru Maharaj, speaking of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and I preface this by saying, I remember when I first saw this first temple in Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco, and it said, they had painted on Sri Sri Radha Krishna Temple. And I thought, that's interesting. Like, you're going to this temple to see Krishna, ostensibly, but they have Radha before Krishna. It's called the Radha Krishna Temple, right? And therein lies some of the secret. And then the people who are the Krishna devotees, they're always saying, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. So before they say Krishna, they're always saying Hare. So Guru Maharaj points out this as in the, what is the word in case? Vocative. Vocative means when you're invoking someone's presence, you're calling to them. And you're saying, Krishna means who is, as we talk, all attractive. Everyone is being drawn to the central conception of the infinite, reality of the beautiful. Rama means, and he's pleasing everyone. Right? So Krishna, he's like drawing everyone towards the central conception. And then what? Rama, he's giving pleasure and happiness to everyone. Right? Then Hare, Guru Maharaj said, means Harana. She's, as Krishna's known for his thievery, Guru Maharaj said, she's the greatest snatcher. That was the word he used. Why? Because she can steal, Mohini, she can capture Krishna. Right? So who's all attractive, everyone is irresistibly drawn in attraction to him. He's Akila Rasamrita Murti, Rasaraj Krishna, ecstasy personified. She can utterly bewilder and capture Krishna, right, with her qualities. Saraswati Thakur, he liked to use the phrase, predominating moiety. Moiety means half, Krishna. Predominated half, Radharani. Supreme positive, supreme negative. So the supreme positive is irresistibly drawn in attraction to the qualities of the supreme negative. So in this songs we're hearing here of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of them, what does he say? Radha bhajane jadi mati, what is it? Mati nahi belo. Krishna bhajane tava akarana gelo. If your so-called Krishna bhajan, your worship of Krishna, does not culminate or transition to worship of her, akarana gelo means it's a useless waste of time. And you're saying, what? All of that chanting, all of that apparent, mad expression of devotion toward Krishna. He's saying, if it doesn't culminate in Radha Bhajan, in worship of her, you're wasting your time. You don't understand what Krishna devotion is. Right? You think, Srimad-Bhagavatam, the Krishna book, right? What does it say in the beginning? Janmadyasya dhanmayat, etc. Next one. Dharmak projita kaita botra paramo nirmat saranam satam. The secret to Krishna conception is non-enviousness. Nirmat sarja, to be without envy of Krishna's devotee. So there are so many devotees of Krishna. Then if we, as Guru Maharaj said, as connotation increases, denotation decreases. If we increase the connotation of devotee to its highest level, then we understand, we're talking, if the same thing Bhaktivinoda Thakur can put in a line in a song, Radha Bhajane, right? Saying, if you are envious of her, or her position, or her devotion to Krishna, then you can't enter substantially into Krishna conception. And this is being expressed there thematically, consistently. So we find in Charitamritam, this verse, we're told it's from the Garuda Purana. It says, Artoyam Brahmasutranam Bharatartha Binirnaya Gayatri Bhasya Rupo Sho Vedartha Paribringhita. What, all the Puranas, the Mahabharata, the Vedas, the Upanishads, the real true meaning of what they're saying, what you're to extract from there, as well as the Gayatri, the commentary, the interpretation, the revelation of what is the true meaning of Gayatri, that is what is presented in the Srimad-Bhagavatam. So, what do we have from Srila Guru Maharaj? You know, Gayatri Murlista Kirtana Danam Radha Padam Dhimahi. You think, what is the flute song of Krishna? What are we to remember? The flute song of Krishna enters the 8 ear holes of Brahma, and what does he come to the realization of? Radha Dasyam, that I'm an eternal maidservant of Radharani. So, and shorthand, we're being held. What is the message of the Srimad-Bhagavatam? Is that proper Krishna conception, proper and substantially, comes in service to her holy lotus feet. That's the open secret of Krishna conception, is that it's all about devotion, the devotee, and ultimately the supreme devotee and supreme devotion. So, what did we say before? Oh, Hladani Shakti. In the Charitamrita it says, Hladani Shakti Sar Prem. The essence of the Hladani Shakti is Prem, Krishna Prem. Prem Sar Bhav. Bhaver Paramakasta Nam Mahabhav. So it's saying the highest sort of Krishna Prem is located in the heart of Srimati Radharani. Right? And as Guru said, Tunga Mani Mandire means her heart, the Krishna Prema heart is like a lighthouse of Krishna Prem illuminating the spiritual world and revealing the service to Krishna. And particularly the sweetest service of Krishna in Madhura Rasa. So when Srila Guru Maharaj was had the inspiration to collect certain slokas from the Srimad-Bhagavatam along the lines of what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had done in the Bhagavad Arka Marichi Mala. And so we know he wrote the Gadadhar Pranam there, one for Vedi Vyas, and we can understand through these introductory slokas, they're going in a particular direction. And so there's one there where he's praising Srimati Radharani and the Bhagavatam, the same time where he says, Yadamiyam Mahima Sri Bhagavatam Katayam Pratipatam Anubhutam Apya Labdabideya Tad Akila Rasam Murti Shamalila Avalambam Madhura Rasadi Sri Radha Padapadmam Prapadye. Very beautiful. And one sloka, Srila Guru Maharaj, so there's 18,000 there. Right? 18,000 verses. And what is he? 12 cantos, 18,000 slokas. The magnum opus of Veda Vyas. We're told, here it is. Here's the Gayatri Bhasya is in the Bhagavatam. So what is this book about? Nigama Kalpaturo Galita. It's the fruit of the tree of Vedic literature. This divine rasa substance is being presented here. It's being delivered through the Srimad-Bhagavatam. It's presented in the 10th canto of Srimad-Bhagavatam. Right? Shamalila Avalambam. Shamalila means Madhura Rasa. Guru Maharaj said in the slogan, the whole Madhura Rasa is dependent upon her. Right? As Guru Maharaj says, that is the, Janmadhyasya Adi Rasa. It is the original. All other rasas are clients or satellites. They're necessary, but they're clients or satellites of Madhura Rasa. So he's saying, although her name, and it is not mentioned there, like how holy is the name of Srimati Radharani? Basically, Guru Maharaj lets us sing Jaya Radhe once a year or twice a year, And how much reverence. he has for her. And why? He's saying, in the Bhagavatam, he's saying, this book is about Radha Dasyam, the service of the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, and her name is not mentioned there overtly. Then how touchy, he would say, but how, meaning delicate is this subject matter that only through she's alluded to. What does it say? Anaya radito nunam Bhagavan Hare Ishra. The gopis surmise. They don't even say it. She worshipped Krishna the best. Right? Trayor ubayor madhye radhika tadika mahababas rupeyam at guna atir varishasi. Two things we can consider. One is, although, and this tells you again how confidential Krishna consciousness is. Assembled there to hear Sukadev speak to Parikshit Maharaj, we're told, they're the greatest sages of all the different schools of thought in the universe. And Sukadev's hesitating to say her name before them. Just to say, the one who worshipped Krishna the best. Right? It's very beautiful. He's saying, like, so what happened? What happened? Oh, well, the one who worshipped Krishna the best, Krishna went searching for her. That's the way it's expressed there. Right? Our acharyas tell us other things, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur. But that's the way it's presented. That's one, from one perspective. Right? And what did Guru Maharaj say? Because he doesn't want to speak, how do you say, Casually, but another word like, yeah, but not, there's another word similar to that, no, but like without proper caution. Right? But I'll think of it perhaps. Because this is so confidential, it has to be discussed with the greatest caution. I'll use that word. So they're in other words, it's an indirect way of saying, what, they're not qualified? The greatest sages of the universe have assembled there may not be fully qualified to hear these sort of things with explicit detail. Which we know, their eyebrows are raised when they hear, and that's when Parikshit Maharaj is asking certain questions on behalf of the group, more or less. Saying, you told us in the beginning, Jigupsite Dharma Krite Nushashana, like Vyas, Narada chastised Vyas for giving religion to the world, and now you're telling us the new religion is something that could appear, being misinterpreted as being irreligious. And then Sukadeva will answer those questions about Shiva drinking the ocean of poison, and what are the qualifications? Vikreditam brajabadu viridam cha Vishnu shradhanvato anusranaya dattavarna yedyak bhakti param bhagavati pratilabdhikamam hridrogamashu api hinuti achyarena dira. Like how qualified one has to be to enter the domain of this subject matter. Right, so all of our acharyas dealing with it, so with the greatest caution. Right? But Guru Maharaj is telling us that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that he would lose his composure when he would meditate upon the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and her divine heart and Krishna consciousness. But Sanatana Goswami Prabhu, he says in the Brihad Bhagavatamritam Tika that another consideration of Sukadeva is that if he will vibrate her holy name, that it will ignite a fire of separation in his heart that is so great that he will become dysfunctional for the purpose of expressing the Bhagavatam. So he takes it in another, there's this other aspect about who is qualified, and then this part, how it might affect him personally. So what does Guru Maharaj say in his prayer? And I want to say this. We know, when Guru Maharaj met a Shrutadhar who knew the 18,000 verses of the Bhagavatam, 16K extent, by heart, could recite them all. And when he said, Guru Maharaj said, so you know the entire Bhagavatam, in your estimation, who are the greatest devotees? And he said, Chatushan, the 4 Kumaras, there, you know. And you? Asking Guru Maharaj, he said, they're in the lower position, lower rank. Yes? Then 2 slokas to establish the supremacy of the Brajagopis and their leader, Srimati Radharani. Na tata priyatama atmayonirna shankara, na chasan karshana shri naivatma chayata bhavan. Where Krishna says, no one is as dear to me as you, my dear Uddhava. Not, Brahma, Shiva, Sankarshan, Goddess Sri. No one is as dear to me as you. And then what comes from the mouth of Uddhava? So 2 slokas, Guru Maharaj defeats the man with the 18,000. Asamaho charanenu jashama hangshang, Brindavane kimapi guma latosa dinam, yadushtajam swajana arjapatam chihitva, Bejur mukunda parivim, shrutibir vimrigyam. Where Uddhava, after he, on the plea of delivering a message from Krishna, because he knows they're feeling such, who cannot tolerate the blinking of an eye of separation. It's like a day of Brahma to them. They're separated from Krishna, so he sends a message to assuage the grief of separation in their heart. And when Uddhava sees their reaction, particularly that of Srimati Radharani, this verse comes from him, where he's saying, I just want to have an atomic presence in the soil of Vrindavan, so when they're moving in the plain, some of the dust from their lotus feet might come upon me. I'll bathe in that, abhishek, and thereby consecrate my existence. They are so great. So what does Bhaktivinoda Thakur say along these lines in his song that we just heard? Radha Padman Kitadam Vrindavan Jaranam. What is Vrindavan proper? That soil which is embellished with the lotus footprints of Srimati Radharani. And remember, Chintamani, Bhumi, Chintamani, that soil is not soil in the conventional sense. It's not only Chinmoy, but Chinmoy enriched with the highest dedicating substance. So Srila Guru Maharaj says in that sloka, although her name ostensibly is not mentioned there, every sloka, every step of the way is meant to take us toward one direction and one destination, which is the service of her holy lotus feet, otherwise known as Radha Dasyam. So, when when he's writing his verses and praise and in separation from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, these were seen in the lifetime of Srila Saraswati Thakur. And one particular verse captured Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And was the one that says, Sri Gauranumatam Swarupa Viditam, We alluded to this yesterday. Swarup, Lalita. Swarupa Viditam, Rupagrajena Advitam, Rupadye Pariveshitam, Raguganaya Ashvaditam Sevitam, Jivadye Abharakshitam, Shukra Shiva Brahma Samanitam, Sri Radha Padasevanamritam Aho Tadatam Isho Bhavan. He's identifying and praising what is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's gift to the world. We could say in the general sense, as Srila Prabhupada sometimes will call it, the Krishna consciousness movement. You know, and Guru Maharaj liked that saying, Krishna consciousness. We take that for granted, but he created it, Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, Krishna consciousness. And it's like, Guru Maharaj said, yes, like Krishna Caitanya, Krishna Chaitanya, Krishna consciousness movement. But in this prayer, Guru Maharaj is saying, only Swarup Damodar knows the full reason for the descent of Mahaprabhu in this world. Because we hear, Bahiranga Sange Kore Nama Sankirtan. With his devotees, they're singing and dancing Nam Sankirtan and distributing to others by this process joyfully. When Mahaprabhu cast his glance upon someone, they receive Krishna Prem and start crying premic tears, and there's so many wonders. That's what, but it says Bahiranga, in general he's doing, but Antaranga Sangha Kore Rasa Ashvadam. But with his internal group, he Rasa Ashvadam, relishing Rasa. With whom? Swarup and Ramananda, particularly. So Guru said, Sri Gaurana Matam Swarupa Viditam. Swarup Damodar knows the real reason why he descended, the internal reason. Right. So, and Guru Maharaj says, quoting Bhaktivinoda Thakur, parsing the sloka of Rupa Goswami, Anarpita Charim Chirat Kornavatirna Kalo Samar Paratamunu Tojvala Rasam Swabhakti Sriyam. He's saying he's giving something that's never been given before. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Krishna came before giving Krishna Prem, right? Of varieties. But he's saying, so what is he doing that was not been done before? Right? Guru Maharaj said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Radha Dasyam, he's giving the service of the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani that culminates in the highest type of Krishna Prem that is normally reserved exclusively for her. Right? So, Gaurana Matam, Swarupa Viditam, Rupagrajain Adritam, and this divine substance is worshipped by Sanatana Goswami Prabhu, distributed by Rupa and his group, Rupadye Pariveshitam. They're serving in that way with their Bhakti Rasa Shastras. Raghu Gunai. We just had this Raghunath Das Goswami. Adadana Sinam Dantayar Idam Jache Puna Srimad Rupa Padamboja Duli Sham Janma Janmani. That Raghunath Das Goswami, the best student in the Rupa Nuga line, the Prayojan Tattva Acharya. So he and they're Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, through whom Chaitanya Charitamrita becomes expressed. Prayojan Tattva Acharya. He's the one, Gomer said, it's there in Rupa as well. He's saying, but Raghunath Das, it's unmistakably expressed by him with the greatest intensity. Right? Right? And what is that? Ashavare amrita sindhu mayi katanchit kalo mayati gamita kila sampratam hi tvam chet kripam vayu vidasashinaiva kimme prane brajena chabororu bakarinapi. That he's the one, he's saying this is a direct prayer to Srimati Radharani. Right? With this service aspiration. And he's saying, and with the prospect, the aspiration that I have and the prospect of serving your holy lotus feet, that gives my life meaning and substance. And if that is taken away from me, of what value is my life? This is the sort of exclusive, intense nature of her serving Guru. They're saying, without you, my life, and you meaning the prospect, the possibility of achieving your service, that's what keeps me alive. That's what's infusing everything that I do. If that is no longer possible or not apparent, then what is the value of my life? Prane. And then he takes it further. Prane, brajena. And what is more valuable than my life? Vrindavan, Brajadam. Right? And what is more valuable than that? And Guru Maharaj would say, it is a shameless thing to say, but without you, Krishna is a dreadful thing. So then we come back to the beginning. Without Radharani, Krishna not so beautiful. What's Raghunath Das Goswami saying? Without you, Krishna's dreadful. Bakari, not like killing so many demons. Demon killer. It's you who bring out all the sweetness in Krishna. When you're by his side, then we see how sweet and beautiful Krishna is. So only with you by his side, that's the Krishna that we don't want any other Krishna. Right? That sort of thing is being expressed there. And Guru Maharaj said, although Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would meticulously suppress any sort of spiritual emotions to not mislead the lower section. Right? But when he would hear this verse, and believe me, in this book, there are so many confidential verses given there that Sahajya imitationists love to try and use for their lower purpose. So to imply some sort of ostentatious display of achievement. Right? Not Srila Saraswati Thakur. But when he'd hear this verse, Ashavare Amrita Sindhu, which is all about a service aspiration. Guru Maharaj said, when he would hear this in his confidential serving group, sometimes he was wailing uncontrollably, hearing this verse. Right? And we told him, the treasure, the wealth of Krishna consciousness is in the hearts of such devotees. Sometimes I share some verses with Srila Gurudev in the final, because I know it makes him happy to hear them. But I would also notice, like, what I might be able to recite, he feels. There's a difference. He has this deep feeling in his heart that is aroused by hearing these things. Right? That's a difference. The heart-to-heart transaction. The one who actually has loving feelings. And we see, so Raghunath Das, that sort of thing he's saying. And Raghu Gunai Ashwaditon. And Jiva Dhyaya Bharakshitam, Jiva's protecting, so is Baladev Vidyabhushan from those who would challenge its legitimacy, who might adulterate, modify, misread, misinterpret. All the cautions are there. They're Rakkak, guardians of the highest type of devotion. Jiva Dhyaya Bharakshitam, Sukha, Shiva, Brahma, and Uddhava. What does it say there? Sukha, Shiva, Brahma, Samani, they're all aspiring for a drop of this divine substance. Right? Then what is it? Sri Radha Padasevanamritamaho Tadatum Ishobhavam. Oh, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, your gift to the world is the service of the Holy Lotus feet. Sri Radha Pada Sevanamritam. So, when Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and orchestrating the missionary activities of Sri Gaudiya Math, sometimes he has to meet with lawyers or different people, you know, but he'd never pass up an opportunity to preach, you know. And one lawyer at the end of the meeting, he said, are you trying to convert me? And Saraswati said, yes, I am. And he said, and if you could give your attention for 5 minutes, it would happen. He's saying, if you could just do that. And then you would realize it's not actually a conversion, but you have this sort of potential, this sort of treasure in the heart, this sort of possibility is there. So you would realize that it's not something alien to you, but it's really the heart's potential for this inner wealth. And you would recognize it as yours and what you aspire for. So Guru Maharaj, he liked to quote Basu Ghosh, who's also one of the Astasakis. If you think about it, Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, Chaitanya Chandra, Astasaki Tungame, Basu Ghosh, Astasaki. So they who are in that domain with Radha and Krishna, if they tell you in Gaur Leela that this is the way to go there, then there need be no more discussion on the matter. You can take it from them on the authority of their position in Krishna Leela. That if they say, this is the way, this is the entrance way to there. Right? So what did Basu Ghosh say in the song Guru Maharaj like to quote? Jari gaur na hoita tabiki hoita kamane daritam dehe Radhar mahima prema rasasima jagata janatoke. If we had not heard, or if Mahaprabhu had not come, we would not know the glories of Radharani and of the highest type of Krishna prema, Mahabhav, Chintamani, Mahabhav, Swarupini, Radha Thakurani. We wouldn't know those things. Who told the world about the glories of Radharani? Gauranga. Who's Krishna, enveloped in the heart and halo of Radharani, come to sing her glories to the world and the glories of serving your holy lotus feet. So, also, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we're told by Guru Maharaj that one time, as we think about the beauty of Srimati Radharani, we're told, cannot be expressed in this plane. We see some things given there in Caitanya Charitamritam, all perfect, according to Kaviraj Goswami, and we, with bowed head, folded palms, read through that. And according to the grace of Sri Guru and capacity, someone may have some appreciation, but generally not to be discussed. And Guru Maharaj said, and once some man came to Saraswati Thakur, and he is singing the glories of the beauty of Lakshmi Devi. Right? Yeah. He knows some slokas, some verses, things like that. And Guru Maharaj said, Saraswati Thakur was being like torn apart emotionally, spiritually, emotionally within, because he wanted to say something to express the superiority of the beauty, Paramasundari. What did they say? Devi Dyotamana Paramasundari. She's Mahalakshmi. Remember when we were always here, when she was born, Vrishabhanu Maharaj and his wife, Kirti, they cannot have children as Leela would have it. He goes to bathe one morning. What? A lotus flower Right, find a lotus flower in the pond where he's bathing, and there's a baby golden girl there. So we know the lotus flower is the seat of Lakshmi. She's Mahalakshmi. But so she appears from a lotus flower and finds a baby golden girl of incomparable beauty, brings back to his wife. So Saraswati Thakur wants to say something, and this man's madly praising, Lakshmi Devi, and Saraswati Thakur knows, but I can't say these things here. It cannot be expressed in this world. Right? Just like Jambu Krishna Prem Jambu Nadahim, Na Prema Gandasti Darapi Meharo. Mahaprabhu said, no, the Krishna Prem's not a thing of this world. It's like the legendary rivers of gold in the heavenly planets. Not a thing of this world. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but not in this world. Because why? What's the proof? You'd say, I don't even have a scent of the fragrance of Krishna Prem, what to speak of a drop? What's the proof? That I go on living in the absence, in separation. Because if you really have Krishna Prem, in separation from Krishna, you'd have to die. And that I'm living means I don't have Krishna Prem. That's the mysterious, divine, spiritual emotional logic of the higher devotees. But anyway, so Saraswati Thakur there, wanting to say, but not always perfect. Right? And the man's raving on it until Guru said the conflicting emotions of Saraswati Thakur caused him to faint and fall out of his chair onto the floor. And they had to revive him. So, but then, so I recall reading Garga Sangita, Guru said once, they asked Radharani, remember this is Leela pastime, they say, how did you get so much devotion to Krishna? She's Radharani, but there has to be, she may give some reasons for it. In one place she said, I worship Tulsi Devi, and by really being dedicated and devoted to Tulsi Devi, so much devotion to Krishna came to me. That's all we need to know. Then we go, we worship Tulsi Devi. If Radharani says that, then we know that. Another place she said, observing Ekadashi, that's enough for us. We don't need to know all the details. Radharani says do this, Mahaprabhu asks such, we do that. Right? So, but in that same Garga Sangita, although her beauty cannot be expressed directly, there's something there that tells us in an indirect way how beautiful, inconceivably beautiful she is. And we're told this meeting, Kurukshetra, and just see, what are the principal pastimes of Mahaprabhu? Right? The Rath Yatra with his devotees, and what is that? Radharani and the Braja Gopis meeting with Dwaraka Krishna at the height of separation, and to take him back to Vrindavan. Right? So Mahaprabhu, the internal reason for his appearance is again underscored and expressed there. But so in the Garga Sangita, it's saying at this same solar eclipse, that the queens of Dwarka accompany Krishna, Radharani and Brajagop. They bring her in on a palanquin, and the queens of Dwarka, they've heard about her. And we know the queens of Dwarka we shall consider inconceivably beautiful. We hear in the Charitamritam that actually on the vote, Ananda Chenmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabhis Tadbirjeva Nija Rupataya Kalavi Goloka Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhuto Govinda Mari Purusham Tamaham Bhajamin. All the Lakshmis of Vaikuntha come from her, all the queens of Dwarka come from her, and all the Braja Gopis come from her. Right? Still, so they're inconceivably beautiful, the queens of Dwaraka. Satyabhama, Rukmini, Lakshmana, etc. And they've heard about her. Because sometimes Krishna, in his sleep, expressing things, sometimes daydreaming, mentioning her and the Braja Gopis. So they've heard so many things and they're thinking. And they know by observing each other, how beautiful they are, these queens of Dwaraka. And they're wondering, how beautiful could she be? Right? But here is their opportunity to see her. And so we're told all the queens of Dwaraka are assembled. Long at last, they're going to have a glimpse of this famous cowgirl, Gopi, Sri Radhika. Right? And the Braja Gopis are bringing her on a palanquin. Right? And we're told there that when the queens of Dwaraka see the beauty of Srimati Radharani, they all faint. They lose consciousness and faint. So that's a way, without saying directly, but we think, if she's so beautiful that she makes all the queens of Dwaraka faint, then what can we learn from that? So, and Guru Maharaj's song, where he's saying that, like his prayer, Gayatri Muralista Kirtanadanam Radha Padam Dhimai. Gurudev would sometimes say, what is Krishna fluting? He's playing the flute. What is that song of the flute? And they're mentioned in Guru Maharaj's Arati, saying Krishna, saying that really the highest conception of me, Hridaya Mandire, is located in the heart of Srimati Radharani. And it is by the wealth of devotion in the heart of Srimati Radharani that I become Gauranga Sundar. Right? So, in conclusion, the Caitanya Chandramritam of Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, Asta Saki Tungavidya says. So what is the conclusion? Yata yata gaura padara vinde, vindeta bhaktim krita punyarasi, tata tatot hridya kasmat, radha padamboja sudamburasi. Then concentrate all your attention on the lotus feet of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Right? Right? As the Bhagavatam says, those who are summa can give Vrindavan. It's that generous. Every atom of Navadip can give Vrindavan in full. Right? Right. The entrance to Krishna Lila is Gaur Lila. Right? The pastimes of Radha and Krishna, their Acharya Lila is Gaur Lila. So it says here. So if you concentrate all your serving potential, energy, at the lotus feet of Gaura Padara Vinde, then Vindeta Bhaktim Krita Punyama, Tata Tatot Sarpati Hridya Kasmat Radha Padamboja Sudam Burasi. Where it says, unconsciously, subconsciously, deep within the heart's core, the Radha Rasa Shuddha Nidhi begins to flow. Right? Tata Tatot Sarpati Hridya Kasmat Radha Padamboja Sudam Burasi. Right? The service of the Holy Lotus Feet of Srimati Radharani. One other thing I wanted to say. Hare Krishna. Srimati Radharani Avirbhav Mahamahotsavatiti ki jai, Sri Radhastami ki jai, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Go Premanande. Now we can sing this song. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite. Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite. Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Niskuta Brindavi Pineshe. Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite. Damodara Rati Vrishabhanu Dadhi Navashashileke Lalita Saki Gunaramita Vishake. Vrishabhanu Dadhi Navashashileke Lalita Saki Gunaramita Vishake. Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite. Karunam Kuru Moi Karunam Barite Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite. Karunam Kuru Moi Karuna Barite Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite. Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite. Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite. Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe. Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Vishnu Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Bhagavan Bhakti Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Jai Supremacy Sri Guru Govinda Govinda Sundar Guru ki jai. Sri Raj Govardhan ki jai. Sri Rupan Guru Bhargava ki jai. Namacharya Srimati Thakur ki jai. Sri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Radharani Srimati Bhakti ki jai. Sri Radha Krishna Gopakavina Shyama Sundar Radha Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan ki jai. Navadipam ki jai. Varshantam ki jai. Sri Rupa Govardhan ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati ki jai. Ganga Devi Mona Devi Bhakti Devi Tosi Devi ki jai. Om Vishnu Vishnu Gurani Sri Bhakti Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Madhacharya Vrinda ki jai. Jai to Bhakti Avadit Maharaj ki jai. Sannyasi Vrinda ki jai. Seva Vrinda ki jai. Samadhira Bhakti Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Go Premanande.
Bhakti Sudhir Goswami ki jai. Go Premanande.
Is this mic on? Yes. Hare Krishna. Jai, my Dandavats Chaitanya Mohi Dhananjaya Prabhu and Rama. Selection is here. Shama Sundari Didi Dandavat. Rupa Vilas Prabhu in the Philippines. Dandavat. Amala Krishna Prabhu Dandavat. Jai, Srimad Bhakti Sevan Rishikesh Maharaj Ki Jai. Is he in Abhasya, maybe? Okay. Lalita Priya Didi, Dandavat. Suresh Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat. Praneshwari Didi, Dandavat. Udaran Prabhu, Dandavat. All the devotees at Govinda Land, the Govinda Land Bhaktivinoda, Dandavat. Jai Brajalatika Didi in Urs in Russia, Dandavat. Anjali Didi, Dandavat. Parmananda Prabhu and Govinda Farm, Dandavat. Krishna Priya and Madhavi. Dandavat. Sundarananda Prabhu and Angkor Wat, Cambodia, Dandavat. Kum Didi, Dandavat. And that's Jamuna's mother, Elena, Dandavat to you. She donated her daughter for divine service. Rajalatika Dandavat, Rasananda and Sochi, Dandavat. Suchitra Didi, Dandavat. Who else? Gora Chandra Prabhu, Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Ekadashi and Toms, Dandavat. Jai Bhakti Asrai Dandi Maharaj, Dandavat. Indumukhi Didi and China, Dandavat. Ratan Krishna Prabhu. Looks like Moscow. Hare Krishna. Yes, the kiss. Oh, there's Makanchur in there. So the Moscow, the Kiselni Bhakta Vrinda. Oh, Jai. Hare Krishna. Seva Rupa Didi in South Africa, Dandavat. Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj. Vila Govinda to Vila Govinda Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Sri Radhastami. I'm sure there'll be, the celebrations continue on. Harimati Didi, Dandavat. Krishna Chandra Prabhu, Dandavat. Narayani Didi, Dandavat. At Govinda Lam, we see Bhakti Amrit Mahavir Maharaj, Rasananda Prabhu and other assembled devotees, Dandavat. Ajita Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat. Suchitra again. Nityananda Das is here. Jamuna here. Biroja, Dandavat. Dhananjay Prabhu in Russia, Dandavat. Vrindavan Chandra. Gurjit Aurora in Kolkata, Dandavat. Pandita Didi, Dandavat. Madhavi, looks like a Madhavi. Hare Krishna. Krishna Mohini Didi, Dandavat. Kamalini Didi, Dandavat. Chandrakanti Didi in China, Dandavat. Rasananda, another, Dandavat. Doyle Govinda Das, Dandavat. And Harkiv, another devotee, Radha Sundari, Dandavat. Hare Krishna. So my Dandavats to one and all, Bancha Kalpatarubhishta, Kripa Sindhu Bevacha, Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. And we say Keshavananda Prabhu, Manindra Mohan Prabhu, Krishna Kanta Didi, Dandavat, Dandavat. Hare Krishna. All right. I thank everyone.